Hey guys, it's me, Phil of Keep It PG. I'm back. So this is gonna be a little bit of an uncomfortable video, because I'm gonna be addressing, you know, bad decisions, the song, and kind of more in depth. Like I did say at the beginning of the song, everything I say in there is true. All of that actually happened, and yeah, I got grounded for 5-6 months. Everything kind of eased up over that time, but after about 5 months I got song recording and YouTube privileges back. Man, I haven't done this in a while. I've moved on from DaVinci Resolve. Get out of here. And I now have Filmora 9, which is an amazing editor. It's $40 a year, if you want to make videos without a huge watermark. But it's an insanely good editor. It has a bunch of effects. You can do color grading, you can do chroma keying, you can do about everything you can do in DaVinci Resolve, just slightly toned down a bit, but it still works great for my purposes. So I'm kind of easing back on the skits and rant videos because they're not good. And so I'm mainly going to be doing like rap now, because I feel like that's where I'm being led. And who knows, once I figure out how to do auto-tune well, I might do some singing. Not that I need auto-tune for singing. I've been told I have a fine voice, but it helps to drag, like if sometimes when you're singing you have some notes that are on the low end, on the flat end of the note, you want to be up on the top end, and auto-tune just kind of helps to round out your vocals a lot better and make it sound good. Anyway, on to the uncomfortable part of the video. Pornography is a very real struggle. And while you are watching it, you don't realize how bad it is until you stop. And I stopped very aggressively. My parents got a new router, and it had what was called Circle on it, which is a super powerful internet monitor. Monitor. So they watched me for a few months, and then Dad had a talk with me, and everything gone, all devices gone, I couldn't even do school on my computer, which I got that back after I got school back after a couple of weeks, but then it stopped. And so after a couple of months, I got music back. So I've been writing and making music for a while, before I recorded and released Bad Decisions. So I got music back, and then I just gradually got other things back, like generally more internet access, Discord, other things. And so during that time of not having a lot, my parents got me a counselor, and so I'm kind of gonna do a plug right now. His name is Kevin Edwards with Anchor of Hope Counseling, and so he's an amazing guy for anybody who lives in Grand Junction or the Grand Valley. If you need help, seek him out. He's amazing, great guy, fun to work with, and he recommended this book, Surfing for God. This book is a life changer. It's a really good book. And so some statistics. Okay, so my sister came upstairs, and so now I'm down here recording this video. So anyway, according to multiple sources on the internet, men have just generally a higher sexual drive than women do. So they're more likely to, get into pornography and stuff. Okay, I'm back up here now because my sister came downstairs. So anyway, so 80% of males, by the time they are 25, have intentionally viewed it, or have viewed it multiple times, or have fallen into an addictive pattern. By the time they're 25, over 77% of Christian men have reported viewing it in the last year, and that statistic has held true relatively for the past like 10 years or something. And those are just the people willing to admit it. Those are very rough statistics. And so it's a very big problem. In the Bible, one of the 10, there's like 363 total commandments in the Bible, I think. There's like 240, like, thou shalt not, and then like 160 or something, thou shalt, and that adds together to totally make 360, or I don't know, some number like that. But the 10 most focused on commandments that he wrote on the 2 tablets, in one of them is thou shalt not commit adultery. Pornography is a super big deal. It's not as bad as other things that people could be doing, and people do them. So I'm definitely not, the worst person on the planet. But what I was doing was still, wrong in God's eyes. So it was bad. So it had been going on for a while, and like I said, my parents just they cut it out cold. And so for a couple months there, I was like, whatever, I'm gonna go back to it. And then, as my counseling started to kind of get into my head, I was like, oh geez. And then in Surfing for God, and I've done research on this, it physically it doesn't exactly physically change your brain, but it creates pathways in your brain. So certain triggers can trigger an impulse, and it's so strong, and you start filling up with dopamine, and your dopamine levels go out the roof. It's crazy. It's super bad for your health. And like, it's crazy, and you don't realize how bad it is until you stop. And you need to actually want to stop, because your parents can ground you for however long they want to, and you still, you're still going to go back to it. But I was actually trying to stop when they did stop me, and I'm glad they caught me when they did. So props to my parents for doing that. But yes, if you are struggling with the same things, seek out help. You are not alone. Like, there's so much help out there. Seek out help. Get this book. It's crazy. Don't go on devices except for school for a few months. It'll change your life. And so some good things have actually come out of, and this sounds kind of weird, but some good things have come out of me doing those things, which sounds kind of weird, but I've met some really cool people. I've become a really good person. I've become a lot more better about my health. I've started eating healthier. I've started exercising. I've started playing guitar. I have an electric and an acoustic and a classical. So that's some good things. And I've also, if anybody's watching this and they've gone in that cycle and they've gotten out of it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. While you're in that cycle, everything is jumbled, everything is foggy. You can't see a way forward. Once you stop and start focusing on your relationship with God more, everything just becomes so much clearer, and it's awesome because you can see a path forward and you can see where you're being led. That's where I was really sure that I was being led down the music career. And I'm not, not necessarily a music career, but, doing more music instead of skits and what I was doing before. And so it's really cool, and you can start legitimately being happy, because while you're in that cycle, you can act happy, but you can't legitimately be happy in things. When you stop, I can feel legitimate happiness now, and it's awesome. It's great, and it's really cool. So anyway, yeah, the point of this video was just to kind of, tell you like where the future of my channel is going, and just kind of more in depth of why I got grounded, and just kind of more in depth on that. I also haven't been, I'm not saying this is going to hold true for everybody, but you know, there were times while I was in that cycle and while I was grounded and, you know, stuff like that. But there were times when I would get super depressed and literally want to kill myself. I got really close a couple of times, especially during the 5-6 month period where I didn't have anything. I mean, it was more of like a 4-month period because then I, you know, started getting stuff back. But like the only thing that kept me from actually killing myself was my youth group and my solo group, which is crazy. I could be dead right now if it weren't for those things, and it's weird to think about. Yeah, and my parents definitely could have handled it better than they did, but everything went fine, and I'm a better person now, and that's what matters in the long run. So yeah, the point of this video is I want to bring awareness to the fact of how bad this struggle is and how many people do struggle with it and continue to struggle with it. And that you're not alone. If you're struggling with this, you are not alone. Seek out help. Seek out help. You might not think it's that bad. It's bad. It is bad for you. It's bad for your health. It's bad for your future. It's bad for relationships. It's one of the things that it does is it creates a fake sense of security. So you feel like you don't need a relationship. You feel I can always just run back to pornography, right? That's another thing. It can damage your relationships. And in the future, if you get a relationship and you're continuing to watch it and to view it, that will damage your relationship. Because I have done these things, it might make relationships in the future a little bit difficult. But I don't do them. I don't do it anymore. That's what matters. And so, yeah, that's... Man, I've forgotten how to end videos. I've forgotten everything I've learned. Anyway, that's about it. So, yeah. Okay. Peace.